What's going on, everybody? Michael here with Squareshotphotos. If you're not doing so already, don't forget to follow us on Instagram. That is Squareshotphotos, all one word. Like us on Facebook, and if you're not doing so yet, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and comment down below. Let me know what's your favorite book. Book? This guy's talking about books. Oh yeah, that's right. If you've been watching this channel long enough, this isn't the first, second, third, or even the fourth episode. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode number 5 of Book Review News. Stay tuned. Let's get to it. Man, oh man, sometimes all you need is just a big old gulp of ice cold chilling water. Man, it tastes good, especially that light back there. It's a little hot, right? So anyway, guys, we're on episode number 5 with Book Review News. One of the cool things that we're going to be doing today, it's a little different than what we've been doing, which is typically picking out one book that we really enjoy and just kind of, giving a really brief detail, giving like cliff notes, I guess, would be one way to put it. Rather than doing that, I decided to do something a little different, pretty cool actually, and that is pick 1, 2, 3 different books. I set them up quick, I'll put them down quick, that way, I'll show them more, we'll talk more about them as we go through there. So anyway, each one of these books is a very quick read. So let's say that you have a plane trip and it's not very long, few hours. Any of these books you could pick up, you could knock them out on that plane ride. If you just want a quick read that will give you a whole bunch of information, any of these books are great. Each one of them are different in their own nature. Each one of them are different in the way that they present their information. One of them is more of like a biography, so to speak, but a condensed version of it, but still very inspirational and a very awesome read. Another one's more, how do I put this, more allegorical. Well, actually the other two are allegorical, kind of one of them more so along the lines of just really getting in there as far as getting into the characters and everything like that. The other one, not so much, but they're both stories in a sense, but stories that hold deep meaning. One of them more so for finance. The other one's very good. It's applicable for just about everybody. The majority of the people from that one that I started getting a bunch of DMs in my Instagram after posting that I had that book was mostly like entrepreneurs, people that typically sit in a position of leadership, but then there's also some that really necessarily aren't in a position of leadership. They just like reading and bettering themselves. Well, anyway, guys, any one of these 3 reads are going to be great to better you, so let's get to it. So the first book we're going to be reviewing today is called Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson, MD. Now, the craziest thing about this book is that I had never heard of it until it was recommended to me in my 30 plus years of roaming the earth and perusing the library aisles to try and expand my knowledge, right? But the second that I posted this on my Instagram story one day that is one of the new books on deck that I was going to be reading, it's like my DMs just exploded like, oh man, I read that book. Oh, that book is so good. Oh, I love that book. It's my favorite one. Anyway, apparently a bunch of people have read this book. They loved it. And to be completely frank and completely honest, when I first heard the concept of it, that it was basically a story of 3 mice and their cheese was in one place and then one day it wasn't. I was like, it seemed kind of juvenile to me, but I trusted the person that recommended it. So I ordered the book. I went ahead and read it anyway, and I'm very glad I did. This, even with the size that it is right here, you can see it's like, itty bitty, right? It's very itty bitty, but it has a wealth of knowledge inside of it. It's good, it's great, it's applicable to just about anybody in any stage of life. And there's a bunch of lessons to be learned inside of here. So I am very, very glad that I went forward and read the book, even though, like I said, kind of hearing the summary of the plot, I was like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like there's a lot there. The first couple of pages, I will say this, is just kind of hyping the book up, which in my opinion, if it's a great book, do you really need it hyped up? With this, that'd be my only recommendation, you know, for whatever it's worth. If that little tiny excerpt where at the beginning where they're just kind of, you know, trying to get you hyped, trying to get you pumped, you know, I think it's kind of like overkill because it is a great book. It's a very good read. And if you need a quick read, again, this one you can't go wrong with. Who Moved My Cheese? Spencer Johnson. Book number 2 that we're going to be reviewing today is one that you've probably heard of. I know I've heard of it. I can't tell you how many times I've heard of this book. I've even had it recommended to me a few times over the years. And for one reason or another, just recently, it made its way to my bookshelf and into my hands to read. And, you know, it's a good read. It's a great read. And you've probably heard of it. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. So it's basically, it's a classic, you know, in the sense that a lot of folks have read it. Now, what it's about is it's basically full of stories. The setting takes place in, you guessed it, that's right, Babylon. And they stay true to the narrative or the theme of the book. And I say that because the way it's written, you know, you'll have a lot of these, thous, you know, and they're, thou shall putteth this and that. So I mean, the author really gets into narrating the book and to try and really put you into the place of, you know, whatever year BC this book or this storyline took place. However, you know, is there a lot of stuff that you could take away from this book? Yes, there is. If it wasn't a great read, number one, everybody and their mother probably wouldn't have read it and been recommending it. And, you know, number two, you know, I wouldn't have put it on this channel. So one of the things I noticed when I picked up this book, it's a revised or an original edition, but obviously the cover is going to look different than some of the other ones because it has over 4 million copies sold. So that being said, there's 4 million copies sold for a reason. This whole book, the biggest takeaway from this book is really going to be money management, how you invest your money, how you can make your money work for you. It's not a get-rich-quick book by any means of the nature at all. It just gives you practical advice in a storyline setting, I guess would be a good way to put it. So, Richest Man in Babylon, original edition. The link for this book also is going to be in the description above, or not above, below, as above, so below, or below. Anyway, you get what I'm saying in the link down below. So, click that, check it out. The Richest Man in Babylon, original edition, George S. Clason. Pick it up. It's a great read. It's a quick read. It's an entertaining read, depending on what kind of books you like, but you will take something away from it. Book number 3. So the third book that we're going to be reviewing today is, last but certainly not least, Rout to Success, My Choice to Struggle to Succeed by D. Porter, aka Little D. Now, I personally met Little D when I was out in Dallas, and she comes off as a very sincere, very genuine and kind person. I personally wish her the best. And folks, for as small as this book is, it packs a punch. It has a ton of information. It walks you through her journey, how she went from homeless to homeowner. So if you want to read an incredible story about a very talented, very resilient, a very hardworking individual, pick this book up. Help support a strong woman that did not give up on her dreams, that is pursuing and living out what she's always wanted to do. It's a great book. It's an excellent read, and you're not going to be disappointed. As per usual, link for this book is also going to be down in the description down below. That's right, you guessed it. All right, guys, so that is the 3 books. To kind of go over the books again, we got Little D Porter, Rout to Success, My Choice to Struggle to Succeed. We've got The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. And we also have Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson, MD. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, leave a comment down in the comment section down below. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification button so that way you can get alerts whenever new videos come. I know it's been about 2 or 3 weeks since I posted my last video. Reason being is because I recently completed what's called a 4x4x48, which is a challenge that David Goggins came out with. The goal is to hit 48 miles in 48 hours in 4-mile segments once every 4 hours, right? It's a mouthful. So I completed it, did a little more than 48 miles, I actually did a little over 60 miles. I'll have those exact numbers and I'll go a little more into detail on everything that entailed, and also over the extra rules and regulations that I put into place for myself for going through that. Now, all that being said, at the end of this video, if you want to check out more about that, like basically what the rules like, of just a very kind of brief video on what that was all about. That video mostly talks about the charities and stuff like that. That 4-mile segments, I chose 12 charities to complete this for, to try and raise money for, raise awareness for. I stayed outside in the elements for the 48 hours, and that wasn't a particular rule of engagement for this. However, it's one that I put in place for myself to try and help raise awareness for the homeless. Now, when you go check the link on that video, in the description part on that video, you're going to have direct links to all those charities, all 12 of them. Some of them have 2 different links for the charity, so what that's going to show is one of those links is going to be for you to check out the charity, get to know them a little bit better if you haven't heard of them before, and then the other one is going to be to make a charitable contribution for them. All of them are great organizations. I support them 100%, and I mean, all in all, it's just great. I'm going to be posting a video more likely than not pretty soon coming up, basically going over the whole 48 hours, what it felt like, and a little bit going a little more in detail on that. Now, for those of you who don't know, obviously this is Squareshotphotos, right? So it's pretty safe to assume that I am a photographer. That's right. So I'm a photographer, videographer, do a little bit of modeling and acting and all that good stuff on the side. All that being said, stay tuned also if you're interested in learning different techniques. If you're in the photography, if you're into videography, I'm going to be posting some videos coming up pretty soon. I'm going to be doing some unboxing channels. And speaking of boxing, in case you didn't notice, right here in this bad boy right here, it says boxing. Nothing works unless you do. Couldn't think of a truer statement. Now it says established 7/13/86 because that is the date that a legend was born. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That is the birthday of yours truly. One of my birthdays. Now, I say all that to say this, which is, I got a surprise for you. If you enjoy boxing, if you love boxing, keep watching these videos. I promise there's going to be videos on here for everything. I'm not going to stop the book reviews, at least not anytime soon, because I like reading. I like passing on knowledge. And me personally, I'm always looking for a good book to read. So if you have a book that you love, that you've read multiple times, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. I mean, I know the majority of the books that I've posted, well, actually 100% of the books that I've posted so far have all been nonfiction. I do enjoy fiction books as well. So, if you have an author like James Patterson, John Grisham, Vince Flynn, Dean Koontz, Michael Connelly, things like that, or somebody maybe I've never heard of, Stephen King. Well, I've heard of Stephen King, but I'm just saying, just spitting out authors, right? Fiction authors. Post your favorite books, post your favorite authors down in the comment section. I want to figure out who they are. I want to read some of their books, and it helps create more content for this channel. So anyway, folks, I hope y'all are enjoying this. So if you like these books, or like these books, I guess you wouldn't even know that you like them yet until you buy them and you read them. Like I mentioned a few times in the video, the link's going to be in the description below in order to get your own copy of these. Now, I have to disclose, by using that link, it doesn't cost you a dime, penny, or anything extra, but it does help me out. I do get a small little kickback. So if these books sound like something that you would like to pick up and you would like to read, I would highly appreciate it if you would use the links down below. And I've got official merch coming out pretty soon. I'm going to have the link down in the description for that, and pretty soon there's going to be an upcoming video where I'm going to show off some of it and all that other good stuff. So guys, with all that being said, thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for liking. Thank you for sharing these videos, for sticking around, for going through this journey with me. The goal is just to get better and better and better, right? So with all that being said, stay blessed, lose the stress. God bless. I'm Michael, and I'm out.